Please stick around to the end of the episode for an important update.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pierce.
And my name is Michael, and welcome to the Stones, Bones, and Thrones podcast.
This will be our pilot episode of our new podcast talking about all things natural sciences.
We are going to be covering things like paleontology, anthropology, ecology, and maybe some geology. But first, this episode will be dedicated to introducing who we are.
I'll go first. As I said, my name is Pierce. I'm currently an undergraduate student at Arizona State University, where I am working towards my bachelor's degree in general biology. I have plans to further my education by pursuing a master's degree in paleontology with a particular interest in studying ancient American proboscideans that once roamed this great continent. I briefly considered a degree in anthropology, focusing on paleoanthropology of Paleolithic cultures and our ancient relatives. However, after some personal reflection and constructive conversations with a professor in a related field, I decided to return back to general biology to continue my studies. In addition to my academic pursuits, I have extensive lifelong experience working with animals, and I've gained this experience through lots of volunteer work, animal rehabilitation, wildlife rehabilitation, and just a lot of hands on knowledge with animal handling.
Awesome. As I said, my name is Michael, and I have a passion for all things extinct, from ancient carboniferous insects and amphibians to more recent things like the thylacine or the Carolina parakeet. Most of my actual scientific work involved conducting population surveys on marine and shoreline species while I interned with the Department of Environmental Management. My primary interests lie in crocodilians and things like apes and monkeys. But, and I also have a fascination for the thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger. Uh, I attended a trade school for zookeeping for a few semesters and gained some very fascinating experience working with a rescue organization that took care of abandoned and surrendered exotic pets. Things like tigers, lions, pumas, pretty much all carnivores, honestly. Unfortunately, due to a personal circumstance, I had to stop both my education and my work in the rescue. However, this led me to a wonderful job um, selling fossils and minerals and things like that at a local shop, which ignited my passion for collecting. And on that note, in my free time, I also love beachcombing various locations, mostly beaches, in search of fossils such as like shark teeth, whale bones, turtle shell fragments. Among some of my favorite finds would probably be like a horse tooth I found down in Florida, or a huge whale vertebrae I found in North Carolina.
Yeah, and I am always jealous of that because I can never go out and find my own stuff. Well, I
We'll go at
guess,
some point.
yeah, at one point we'll meet up and go do that. Um, I guess we'll start with uh, why we started this podcast and what
Yeah.
we'll be covering. Um, as Michael said, and as I've said before, we'll be doing mostly natural sciences like paleontology, ecology, geology, anthropology. Um, how we came up with the podcast, I guess we kind of bounce things off each other. Um,
Yeah, it really evolved over time.
yeah, it really did change over time. We were kind of we wanted to do something broad, but we wanted to cover because we both love paleontology, and I really love anthropology, and Michael loves certain aspects of anthropology. So it very and archaeology. I should mention that too.
Yes.
We felt like we wanted to do a nice blend for that. We also chose to do the podcast as well because not only are we just gigantic nerds about stuff like this, we also just love talking about it. Um, I will
Absolutely.
probably do most of the talking because I am a big yapper, um, but that's okay. Um, and also, we both felt pretty strongly, especially with in light of recent events here in America about science communication and the whole Direwolf debacle with Colossal Biosciences, which, if you haven't read that already, please do. There's many great science communicators out there, and I highly recommend you check out some of their videos or some of their journals and stuff like that, because it's interesting to read about.
Absolutely. Science communication is more and more important by the day, honestly. Um, so what we want to do here is just talk about things that we enjoy, honestly,
Y-
and share
yeah,
it with everyone. Yeah,
yeah, we have already a lot we want to talk about, um, and that kind of just leads into how we will structure the episodes. And For example, we'll start with a just a focus episode, something we'll focus on one subject um, of one of our choices. I think the first one, which I we will tell you guys at the end of the episode, is something we're both pretty strong in, given our backgrounds. So we're excited for that. Um,
definitely. Our first two episodes definitely show both of our experiences pretty well. I think the first one is more mine, the second one is more yours, and I think that'll be a really good introduction to who we are and what the podcast will be.
yeah, absolutely, and especially with those big long episodes, which we'll call our deep dives, we're hoping to cover um, sites and locations and do like long deep dives into their history, natural history, their anthropology, archaeology, their history of the site, um, just stuff like that. And we're really excited for the first two we've picked so far. But
Yeah,
speaking of reflecting on ourselves and how it shows us in our interests, let's talk about ourselves for a second. Michael, you want to go ahead and talk about yourself since you're more interesting than I am?
I absolutely disagree with that, but uh,
I beg to
I
differ.
I can absolutely do that. Yeah, like I said, I'm a fossil collector, really. That's my main hobbies. Um, I have wanted to be in zookeeping ever since I was a little kid. Thank you, Steve Irwin. Um,
The goat.
yes, exactly. He is the reason I have this passion, and my he caused my love of crocodilians. Uh, um, unfortunately, like I said, I did have to stop doing my um education in that, but that has not stopped my love of the natural sciences, and I would love to get more into science communication and share it with all of you.
Yeah. Um, I guess a little bit about me. Again, I am a big nerd. I like to talk a lot. I also have. I do some things that have earned me a nickname that I'll get into later. But I practice the art of flint knapping, which is where you make arrowheads, spearheads, tools, all that sort, using percussion tools like stones and antlers to shape stone into points. I primarily use abo knapping, which is the antlers as stones. However, I do own some copper tools, copper boppers, copper pressure flaker, which matters. I'll go into flint knapping more on another episode later on down the line because it's really interesting.
Ooh,
It's a lot of fun.
spoilers.
Ooh, spoilers. Um, Also, just love going outside. I'm big into nature, natural history, animals, the outdoors. I've always been fascinated with uh, prehistory and ancient humans. And that especially spiraled into my love of mammoths, which is why I am choosing to do American Proboscideans. Um, I also have done not a lot of caving, just kind of casual caving, going down into one. Um, there are a few, like Natural Bridge, Inner Space Cavern. There's a whole bunch in my local area. Um, However,
That
Uh,
sounds amazing.
yeah. During one of my many escapades into academia, I briefly almost had the opportunity to go into a site that was in a cave, and because the way I
Oh wow.
look, the things I do, and I guess the way I act a little bit, I earned the nickname Caveman because I kind of look like one, I guess, and I just act like one too. I'm a weird
It is
nerd.
very fitting.
Yes, it is very
Very
fitting.
fitting.
Um, I guess how we met though is a very
That's
long story.
that it is.
Yeah,
We have been gaming buddies for probably 10 years now.
yeah.
Um, mostly things like Path of Titans, um, Arcs Well Evolved, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. That
Yeah,
man, what a mess of a game that was.
that is not what this podcast will be about.
No, we won't talk about games. We'll be talking about natural history. We promise.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and just from then on, we've always been friends. And we've always pretty much close friends at this point. He's one of my longest time friends ever. Um,
I absolutely. I think you are my longest lasting friend, to be honest with you.
yeah, and like, I don't think there's anything, um, that's ever really happened that caused a stir. And even then, we're still here. 10 years later. Um, and we also bonded over paleontology and anthropology, especially when I started going into college and stuff like that. Michael here would ask me questions along with my friends, which really led me down more into science communication. Um, I usually have my DMs open for friends to ask questions anytime, no matter how silly or kind of kind of
Yeah.
questionable at
I,
those
I
points
think
and
the best
times.
way I think the best way to put it is I have more field experience, you have more academic experience.
Yeah,
Would that be
yeah,
fair?
yeah.
Yeah.
That is totally fair because I have so I due to my own personal life constraints, I don't get to go out to the field very much. Um, so I'm not as practiced and well versed on looking for fossils or um, getting out there and digging. Although I would love to do both, I have been trying for the past 2 years to get out there and get my hands in the dirt. No such luck so far, but maybe someday soon. Um, but yeah, Michael's more experienced in that. That and working with large, dangerous animals. Michael has more experience there. The largest animal I worked with was a very very angry emu. So that's
Which I mean, personally, I've worked with tigers and I would prefer a tiger over an emu. I'm not gonna lie. Emus are scary.
yeah, especially when she's trying to protect that egg. Yeah, no thank you. That did not feel good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, I guess more about our experiences, especially because we've been talking about it. Um, I've always grown up around animals. My mom was a zookeeper and eventually became uh, like an animal investigator, animal cruelty investigator. But stuff happened there, and she had to step down. And then she went into the animal rescue field, which she doesn't quite do it anymore, but she still loves dogs and all that. And she was a big inspiration for me, along with Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, and uh, Jeff Corwin, stuff like that. Those guys were big inspirations for me.
Absolutely. Another one was Nigel Marvin. I loved
Oh
him
yeah,
in
Nigel
Prehistoric
Marvin.
Park.
Yeah,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Prehistoric Park as a kid.
Oh man, I never got the opportunity to. I only saw bits and pieces, but I did
Oh,
love the Walking with series, especially the Walking with Prehistoric Beast. Underrated in
of
my
course.
opinion, but love it very much.
I feel the same way about Walking with Monsters.
Oh, yeah, that's another underrated one. Um, my academic experience though has been kind of I've worked really hard for it. Um, it hasn't been easy. I have attempted college 3 times. Not because I failed, but because I don't have the means, money wise, or the time. And this is so far I'm going on. ASU has kind of a weird um, system. They don't really call you junior, senior, sophomore, stuff like that. It's by year. I think I'm on year 3 or 4. I've lost track. I'm still going along at my own pace. I have, like I said, I have my own personal life commitments, so I tend to prioritize my family and my work life over going out into the field and stuff like that because I gotta take care of things at home. Uh, but yeah,
And I make up for that because I have no life, so I can go out there and I can go and dig for fossils. Because
you,
I went to school for roughly 2 semesters, and then, like I said, I unfortunately had to quit. But hey, I still get out there and dig whenever I can.
Michael gets out more in the field than I do, um, and if you ever see him, he is twice the height than I am, and he's an absolute giant. So if you're ever out in the Carolinas and you see something that looks like a Sasquatch, that's probably just Michael digging in the dirt for fossils. He's huge. um, but
Sasquatch has been my nickname for years now.
yeah, a very long time, and it's very fitting, especially because like yeah, you never know um, when he's gonna pop out of the woods with fossils. Um, but continuing on, for our release schedule, we're planning to do monthly. So we'll have a episode per month. We'll have 1 month where we'll do the deep dive, and then 1 month where we'll do the subject.
The surface level.
Yeah, the surface level.
Yeah.
The surface level podcast will actually tie in to the deep dive, so you might get
Yeah.
a little bit of overlap there. We're hoping to make it a lot of fun. Um, we hope you guys learn along with us, and also, um, well, hopefully, you guys also ignite a passion to go look for yourselves, especially because we're going to be covering some of these sites. And as we all know, academia always needs a little bit more funding when it comes to site protection and stuff like that. So please, by all means, go visit their websites or the sites themselves. Please support them. They always need help. They always appreciate the help. And I'll try and link the way to help support them in the podcast notes, but we're new to this, so I'll find out as we go. But I really hope you guys enjoy what we do. Um, and to talk about the next episode briefly, I think I'm gonna have the tiger expert tell us what we're gonna do.
Oh, oh, was that a spoiler? Are you
Oh,
spoiling it for me?
maybe.
Well, yes. While we will not be talking about tigers, we will be talking about large cats, small cats, and everything in between of North America. Extinct and extant. Um, there have been a lot of cats that have lived in North America, and especially some very famous ones, such as Smilodon or Homotherium. Um, we will be diving into all of them in the next episode.
Yes, absolutely. And I felt this subject was perfect for both me and Michael because we both really enjoy big cats. Michael, especially since he is the big cat expert here. I also really like megafauna and the late Pleistocene, so this felt like a good start that will bridge into the next episode, which, no spoilers there. You guys will find out next episode. Anyways, this is where we're gonna end it. I've been
Yes.
talking too much, and as you
And
guys can
thank you
tell,
all for joining us in. Oh,
As you can tell, I've been talking for too long, so my voice is getting raspy. Um, Michael,
Well,
go ahead
well
and you
then,
start.
yeah, I will take it off from here. Thank you all for joining us on episode 0 of the Stones, Bones, and Thrones podcast. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoy getting to know us a little better and absolutely listening to just us rant and ramble about ourselves for however long this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to explore the natural world and all its fascinating parts with you guys. If you enjoy the podcast, be sure to subscribe or follow us on YouTube so you can stay tuned in whenever we post.
Yes, and our Instagram and our TikTok will be linked in uh, the video description.
And if you have any questions, suggestions, or topics and you'd like us to cover, don't hesitate. Just reach out. I'll have our email somewhere in the description as well. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious,
And thank you, everybody.
take care.
Hi there, it's me again. So, as you could probably tell, due to the subjects we covered during the duration of the episode, along with maybe my audio, I can't really tell right now. It's been a while. So the reason for that is it's because me and Michael had a bunch of life events happen after we recorded this first episode. We plan on still doing Stone, Bones, and Thrones, but I'm going to have to put a little addendum on our release schedule. Unfortunately, we're going to just focus on doing quality over quantity, and we're not going to stick to a schedule quite yet until we get the hang of things here. For that, I do apologize, but I promise the next episode, you're going to love it. So I hope you guys stick around to listen to that. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next episode.